Okay, so Japan were playing Samoa in Toulouse. The winner stays in the World Cup. The loser would basically crash out the World Cup by not getting past the pool stage. And it's turned out Japan have won the game. They set up a winner-takes-all match against Argentina, which looks quite tasty. Samoa can't progress past the pool stage. The best they can hope for is a third-place finish, depending on how the Argentina-Japan game goes with bonus points. Samoa do get a losing bonus point, but as I say, they cannot progress past the pool stage. Their World Cup is basically over. The game against England, the pressure's off them a little bit. They could finish third in the pool. Japan can still finish second, potentially first in the pool. So there are many permutations here. Japan are still alive and kicking. It was 17-8 at half time. It was 28-22 at full time to Japan. The Japanese were the better side. I think the better side has won. Samoa shot themselves in the foot with their discipline. They've had a player sent off. They've had another player put in the sin bin. They played half the game with 14 players. Japan also had a player in the sin bin, but that didn't overly impact them because Samoa couldn't take advantage of that sin binning, partly because they had their scrum half in the sin bin before half time. And really, the speed of the ball at the breakdown, Japan were quicker. Towards the end, Samoa are still in the game. They're fighting to stay in the game. Japan don't get that bonus point try because there's a knock-on. So Samoa get a little bit lucky there. Samoa did stick in the game, but they made things hard for themselves with their poor discipline. But let's break the game down because the yellow cards are very, very interesting to discuss. There's 2 high tackles. One remains a yellow, one is upgraded to a red. That's 7 reds now we've seen in this World Cup. We haven't seen a straight red yet, although there is a possibility that could happen. But let's break the game down. So the first 13 minutes, it is an arm wrestle. Then Labuschagne scores his try in 13 minutes, the South African-born player. And again, it's that quick breakdown ball, quick distribution, and really attacking all over the pitch, spreading the ball wide, taking advantage rather than just kicking the ball away and going back for the penalty or giving up that advantage. They use the advantage by keeping ball in hand, which stretches the Samoan defence, and of course the Samoan discipline is starting to let them down a little bit. Matsuda converts that try, and then the scoring slows a little bit. Leila slots a penalty in 25 minutes. He had another attempt that he missed. He would go off injured. That's their inside centre. Leilani has not had the best World Cup with the boot. He's normally pretty metronomical, but his kicking's been a little bit off in this tournament, and they have missed some kicks. They've left points on the field, which could have changed the outcome of the game a little bit. Now, Matsuda slots a penalty on 28 minutes, so even though Samoa just slot a penalty, they're pegged back and Japan are in control. The Leach try, there is a foul play in the build-up from Samoa. The advantage is being played, and again, the Japanese players keep recycling quickly. They take advantage of the advantage rather than kicking ahead, a crossfield kick or a high-risk play. They keep with their phases. They keep moving the ball. Leach goes over on 31 minutes. Taumataine is the scrum half is sin bin for a cynical off the ball takeout of a player, whilst Japan have breached the game line, so he's sin binned. But Japan really don't take advantage of that sin binning because Horie, their starting hooker, is also sin binned for a high tackle. I'm going to say it's very similar to the Uruguay yellow last night. Because he's static and there is mitigation because he is bending his back a little bit, but it's head-on-head contact. You could argue it's very similar to Uruguay's yellow card last night, where he's more static and bracing in the defensive line rather than driving into the tackle or driving up or charging into the tackle. Where Ben Lamb, however, that's a different one. He leads more with the shoulder rather than an accidental head-on-head, and we'll discuss that later on. So both teams are down to 14 players going into half-time. There is a try for Samoa by Salala Lamb, 39 minutes, from the resulting kick to touch from the penalty and the driving maul, but they failed to convert. So it's 17-8 at half-time. Samoa are still in the game. Japan, a little bit of ill-discipline right at the end of the first half. They're not taking advantage of the initial sin binning, but they're ahead. And they are the better side. Their discipline's better, their speed of ball is better, their rucking is better, and they are playing with a bit more pace on the ball than Samoa. Samoa are a little bit slower at the breakdown. They're trying to use their power game all the time by just going route one quite a bit and trying to dominate that area, but then players are getting isolated because they're going one up. There's turnovers and there's more of a struggle to clear out at the ruck, which is noticeable. Now, second half, Japan just start like a freight train. They really are throwing the ball around. They're really stretching the Samoan defence. Labuschagne gets taken out by Ben Lam, which is a high shot, and he leads with the shoulder. You could argue Labuschagne is starting to dip into the tackle a little bit because there's a tackle around the legs, which is forcing him forward a little bit and downwards. However, Ben Lam, he comes in at pace, leads with a shoulder, and drills him in the head. And he's sin bin on 47 minutes, but very, very quickly that is upgraded to a red with the off-field TMO. We can again debate whether it should be a straight red on the field to give power back to the officials on the field. That's my opinion on that. But look at it. Look at the previous 7th red of the tournament. We saw a red last night in the Uruguay-Namibia game, which has had a crucial impact on that game. Another red here, and it's had a crucial impact because they're playing most of the second half with 14 players. They spent 10 minutes earlier with 14 players. They basically played half the game, a man down, which has had a massive, massive bearing. Now, Hemino basically it's a carbon copy of the Shalila Lamb try for Samoa in the first half. Japan kicked the penalty to touch. They used the driving maul and they drive them over on 49 minutes. Matsuda slots a penalty on 56 minutes, so he's missed a kick as well from the resulting tries, but he's lost a penalty on 56 minutes. Matsushima's try is disallowed because there's a knock-on in the build-up. It's a very, very slight knock-on, and that would be on 63 minutes. That would have, I think, killed Samoa, but it gets called back. 2 minutes later, Paya Awa, the fullback for Samoa, scores his try on 65 minutes, and Leo Leofano converts a tough kick. He does convert it. Matsuda slots another penalty on 74 minutes, and then Leo Leofano scores a desperate try on 78 minutes with a conversion, but it's too little, too late. Yes, you could argue that Samoa really showed some fight in the second half, a man down. But they made things difficult for themselves by giving away penalties in the Japan 22 when they're on top, holding on, illegal clear-outs, offsides, obstructions. So they shot themselves in the foot. The red cards are, shot themselves in the foot. Their discipline has let them down. Japan, they did look a little bit tired by the end. Because Samoa, were keeping it simple, but a man down. They were trying to bash them up the middle, and just pick and go phases and trying to use their power game. They used their subs bench pretty effectively to allow that power game, but they've left it too little too late. Their discipline's been poor, and we can debate yet another yellow card upgraded to a red. Some of them I think should be straight reds. I think give power back to the on-field officials. I think that's where they've got this TMI off-field review wrong. Previous years that would have been a straight red anyway. And we're talking about speeding up the game, but when you're going to have multiple replays to go, is there mitigation? Then we have to stop again and then discuss the yellow card being kept at yellow or upgraded to a red. I think that does disrupt the flow of the game a little bit. As I say, give the power back to the on-field officials with the help of the TMI saying, what do you think as on-field officials? Give a bit more responsibility back to the on-field officials because I think they're being a little bit too reliant on the TMI to bail them out when they miss a call or they're unsure on something. I think they need to back themselves on the field. I think that's where World Rugby have got that one wrong. But Japan have now set up a winner-takes-all against Argentina. Argentina haven't really been at their best in this tournament, which is a bit disappointing. I thought they would have been a bit better. Japan, this is their best game so far. This is the best they played so far, but they allowed Samoa to hang around in the game. They didn't quite kill it off. Although that disallowed bonus point try, I think, would have killed them off. But Japan, a little bit of game management letting them down a little bit there. They did put a big effort in the first 60-odd minutes. The pace they were playing the game at, they were testing their own fitness a little bit. They're an exceptionally fit side. Samoa have shot themselves in the foot with poor discipline in this tournament. So Japan, winner takes all against Argentina. Samoa can still finish third, thus not avoiding a qualification process for the next World Cup. If they beat England, they could be a potential banana skin for England. Obviously, England have qualified because Japan did not get the bonus point win. If Japan did get the bonus point win, that makes it a little bit more complex, but there's still some complexities. While England are top of the pool, they may not actually finish top of the pool. The worst they can finish is second. There are some permutations for the knockout stages as well. Japan, this is their best performance in the World Cup so far. They really did show a lot in attack and a lot of free-flowing attack and a little bit risky, but also carefree. They knew they had to win, but not getting that bonus point try could be a bit problematic. We have to see, obviously, what comes out the Argentina-Chile game, injuries, suspensions, and that kind of thing. Argentina are favourites going into that game, but they're misfiring as well. So this group is wide open. England may not finish top yet. Samoa could upset England. That could be a very interesting game. Samoa won, obviously, automatically qualifying for the next World Cup. Japan obviously want to take that second place spot, potentially first place spot. And it's a winner-take-all game against Argentina. And the way Japan attacked the game at pace, Argentina could find that a difficult game. So there we go. It's finished 28-22 to Japan. Samoa played half the match with 14 players. And the TMO yellow-red card debate continues. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts in the comments section below. And I'll have some more content for you very, very soon.